Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Generative Geek. So far we have understood what embeddings are and how you can generate them using OpenAI. Now one common question or one common doubt that comes up is that okay, now I know how to generate my embeddings and I also understand what embeddings are. Um, but I don't know how much it will cost me to generate those embeddings because I'm using OpenAI API or maybe some other paid API or some other paid model. So today's episode is about how do you find that. We'll cover three things as part of this notebook. First is we'll count tokens. We'll then figure out what the model pricing is, and then we'll use token count and model pricing to arrive at total cost in dollars. Right. So one thing that you need to understand is that OpenAI, Google Gemini, and all of these LLM models work on tokens, right? So their costing is based on tokens. So if you can count how many tokens you are going to use, you can quickly arrive at what the total pricing is going to look like, right? What we'll do is we'll first install all the dependencies. I have dependencies listed here in requirements.txt. We have tick token, .env, and OpenAI as our dependencies. I have already gone ahead and installed them, but if you are new and you don't have your environment set up, uh, just do pip install -r requirements.txt, or if you want to install them individually, pip install OpenAI space tick token space python -env. Right. So with that done, now let's quickly get into the coding part of it. Right. So we'll first import all the necessary libraries. So I'm going to go ahead and import all of those libraries that we just um, uh, installed. Um, and once you have that, just run it. No module name tick token. Okay, that's surprising. No worries. We'll go and we'll figure out if we don't have tick token, we'll install tick token. So maybe I missed installing tick token. Okay, so yeah, tick token wasn't there. Now it's installed, and we'll quickly go ahead and run it, right? So with tick token done, now once the libraries are installed, what we need is we need to find some text, and I'll close the terminal so that you have like a good view of the notebook. We'll create some text and we'll call it text to embed, right? This is our sample text, basically, sample text that we want to embed, right? And you this can be any text. There is no given the fact that this is more like a test that we are doing. So this is the text to embed. Once upon a time there was a little boy and all of that, right? So I take some text, and this can be any text. This can actually be your real text, right? And once you have the text, what you want to do is you want to find out which model you are going to use for embedding, right? So I'm taking text embedding 3 small, and then once you have done that, we'll make use of the library we just installed called tick token. Tick token has encodings for various model. So you give it the model, and so we'll give it text embedding 3 small, and it will take that model and generate encodings, right? So it will generate those encodings. Now basis those encodings, when you give it the text, it will be able to find out how many tokens are required for that text, right? So the way to do it is, now we have the encodings, we'll just say tokens is equal to enc.encode text to embed, right? So if we do it, it'll basically give us tokens, right? So, and I can just do len of tokens, and there are 83 tokens in this, right? So I know that this text is going to cost me 83 tokens to do the embeddings, right? Now let's just take more like a more realistic kind of a thing, where what I'll do is, in production environments you will probably have large sets of data that you will be embedding. what I've done is I've just tried to simulate it using a big list, right? So we have a list of movies, and I asked Claude AI to generate a big list of movies for me with just the title and the name of the movie, right? So there's a title, colon, Final Destination, title, Matrix, title, there's that title, right? So we have how many of them? Len of movies. We have 50 movies in this, and what we are now going to do is we are going to basically loop through and generate tokens, right? We're going to count tokens, how many tokens are going to be required, right? So let me just write some text, encode each text in movies and calculate total tokens, right? So total underscore tokens is equal to sum of len of, I just used the suggestion, and now I'm going to verify if the suggestion is right or not. Yeah, okay. So what it is trying to do is we are looping through, we are taking one movie at a time, we are looping through it, and then we are passing it to the function as some sort of a generator, and then we are calculating the length, and then finally we are doing a sum over the entire list, right? So and now if you just see total underscore tokens, there are 333 tokens, right? So not much. And the way to find out the pricing is that you go to the model pricing page, you type in OpenAI embedding model pricing, and it'll give you the pricing page of the model, and you go down and you say, hey, you know what, how much is my model going to cost me, right? So we are using text embedding 3 small, and it says it's going to charge us 2 cents for every million token that we use, right? So now it is simple. What we'll do is we'll come back and we'll say, okay, so total tokens we now know. We know the pricing is $0.02 per M tokens. And this, let's just put it in a comment, per 1 million token. So what we'll do is we'll basically go back and now try to calculate the total cost, right? So we know cost per M tokens is equal to $0.02. Sorry, 0.02. Therefore cost per 1k token, right? So we'll just divide this by 1000 and we have cost per 1000 tokens. And once we know the total cost, we know the total tokens, and we say so our total cost is total tokens multiplied by cost per 1k token. Sorry, sometimes what happens is ChatGPT GitHub Copilot is able to complete. It takes a little while to just go through what it has tried to do, and I was just trying to figure that out when and therefore you will find me stammering or figuring out my thought process a little. I'm just trying to validate if it did the right thing. So cost per million tokens we saw from the pricing page was 2 cents. Therefore cost per 1000 tokens is divided by 1000, and total cost is total tokens multiplied by whatever number of what is the cost of 1000 tokens, right? So in our case we have 333 tokens. So the way to do it is we'll just divide. So our total cost is total tokens multiplied by cost per 1000 token divided by 1000, right? So I hope this was clear. Now just let's do the prints. Total cost will also print total number of tokens. So 333, it's saying you don't have to pay anything, but you will pay something, but probably the cost is going to be so small it won't matter, right? So now let's do this. Let's instead ask ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot to generate generate a list of 5,000, generate a data frame of 5,000 movies. Okay, so I'm just asking it to generate a data frame of 5,000 movies. As a simple example, we'll use NumPy library to generate random data and Faker library to generate fake movie names, right? So I could have gone ahead and, one way is you can just take Python Kaggle code, and you can generate some you can generate you can take Kaggle data sets and use those. Today I felt like, because for the purposes of this video, it sometimes makes sense to just go ahead and try out new things. And what I wanted to do was figure out what ChatGPT or what GitHub Copilot is going to do, right? So GitHub Copilot said, hey, you know what, let's take pandas, NumPy, Faker, and generate some fake data points, right? So it's going to generate 5,000. And let's see what it does, right? So I'm just going to run this code. Okay, it has given me some random movies, right? So now with this, let's do this, that, let's create a string, def create movie info string, right? And I'm going to basically pass it a row. And for each row, what we are going to do is we are just going to return back the title, movie. This is the F string we are generating. So we're generating a meaningful F string. And now what is this row? This row is largely, I'm going to loop through the data frame, and pass each row to the function create movie info string, right? So that's what we are going to do. Okay, this is what I like about GitHub Copilot. It does a lot of auto completions for you. So it says df.apply create movie info string access is equal to 1, and this will give me a movies. And if you're wondering what is movies, we'll just run movies, and it's a series, right? So let's convert the series into a list, convert movies into a list. And what we'll do is, okay, and now let's see how many movies we have. We have 5,000 there. Let's print the first 5. And this is how your F strings are going to look like. You have the title, you have the year, rating, all as one element. Now what we are going to do is we're going to generate tokens for these, right? So let's find how many total tokens are required. We'll use the same thing that we did earlier. We'll use tick tokens encoder and pass it one movie at a time. We are looping through the list, and then finally whatever. So this gives you the tokens, right? So enc.encode movie, that will give you the tokens required for that particular list item. So if this list item is getting passed, title, main, community, it'll tell you, hey, this thing requires maybe 10 tokens, right? So, and then it is going to loop through each of them and finally do a sum and say, for this entire movies list, you will need so many tokens. So now let's just print total tokens, and now you see we have some 118,000 tokens, right? That is roughly 118,000 tokens. So now it makes sense to figure out what is the cost going to be. So same way, we had total tokens. So we had total cost is total tokens into cost per 1k tokens divided by 1,000. Cost per 1k token we already figured out. If you want, I can print it here again. Print f string cost per 1k tokens. Right, so it's 0.00002, right? That many dollars you will pay per 1,000 tokens. So what is the total cost now for roughly 118,000 tokens? So let's just print f string total cost is I'm still not paying anything, right? So maybe let's just say 5f. So I'm only paying 0.00236, right? So this gives you a sense of that, hey, how little you actually pay when you use OpenAI text embedding 3 small model for embeddings. But now keep in mind, we did a very small requirement. If you were doing very large documents that I can probably show in another video, you will pay a lot more, right? So this was an attempt to just show you how much money you want to pay if you have to do embeddings through OpenAI library. Thank you so much. If you liked this, please press the like button and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.